All right, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Bunch, where the Mad Mistake this week can't make it because he's away in London. So you got me sitting in for him. And we've also got on the panel Michael Bowers.
All right, everyone.
Sean Middleton and Dean Elgar, or Dino to his pals. Dean Elgar to me. We want to say a big thank you then to George and the team at the Hastings Hill down here who allow us to record this in our studio. Don't forget they do a fantastic Sunday dinner as well, and if you can't even make it here, they do deliveries as well, deliveries of your Sunday lunch. So if you want to check that out, you can do that. So yesterday Sunderland played Milton Keynes Dons away from home, and we got a fantastic 1-0 win. So where we're going to start? We're going to start with last week's predictions. And the Mad Mistake, who isn't here, said 3-0 to Sunderland. So he was miles off, to be honest. Sean, do you know what you said?
Was it 2-1?
3-1.
3-1.
3-1 you said. Dino?
I said 2-1 because you said 3-1.
2-1. And Michael?
Same score as Dino, 2-1.
2-1. And I said 3-0, which is not that far off, to be honest, really. If Ozturk had stuck those two sitters in, then it would have been 3-0.
So you were
anyway.
the first away, Philly, then?
I was what?
You were the first away with the scores.
Well, I was closest.
Can I just point out,
we kept a clean sheet.
me and Dino got the margin of victory right, so I think we're the closest. 1 goal. Just saying.
All right, so yesterday, the result was the important thing, but game of two halves, if you like, and first half compared to second half. What do you think Phil Parkinson said then at half-time, what needed to be changed? Michael?
So, I've only seen probably about 10 minutes of the game, so this is the first...
Well, what are you doing on the panel then?
I know, honestly. Because you dragged us along, I had no choice. Look, apparently this is just based on what people have said, so the other three will be able to tell more than me here. But from what it said, first half apparently was very even. Apparently the MK Dons, it made it a scrappy game. And fair play, if Parkinson did get into half-time, just reminded them, look, you're better than these, you should be able to go out and beat them. And apparently second half was all Sunderland, really, at least up until we scored anyway. But even then, you look at Gooch and Wyke had efforts cleared off the line. You had Ozturk, who somehow managed to miss an open goal from 2 yards. But at the end of the day, got the 3 points. Cracking goal from Gooch. What more can you say? Just 3 points onto the next one, really.
Sean?
The first half, I thought, was it was just very flat. I don't know.
Like our lass.
You can't see that one.
Sorry, Karen.
No, it was very flat. It just like there wasn't much happening. I don't think we went at it in the first half, but I mean they didn't really offer any threats either. But I think obviously, as I was saying at half time, I said to a couple of mates as well. I said like he's
I've got mates. You haven't got any mates.
Not many, but he's off time team talk. Obviously, we'll come out better in the second half, and I think obviously we were in the second half we were miles better. There was that urgency about us, what was missing in the first half. I mean, what people's got to remember is as well, we've been at it for the last 3 or 4 games. Like in the first half, we've been unbelievable. So you've got to give them some slack when they're not so much at it. But in the second half, we were miles better, and obviously Gooch's goal was just absolutely sublime. We were obviously in that corner bit when he scored. When he first got the ball, he knocked the forward on. What's he doing with the left foot? And he hits it, and it seemed like the ball was in the air for ages. And then when you see the net Murphy on, like just diving out.
So do you think we was tired then in the first half? Or?
No. There wasn't so much tired. I just don't think there was no oomph in our player.
Urgency.
Urgency. There was no urgency in the player. And for what reason, I'm not sure. I mean, there was only one. I think there was only one change in the team. I mean, what people's got to remember is that MK Dons is. I know they're 4th from bottom, but they were decent size. I mean, they've turned some good teams over this season. They're no mugs. So just to go down there, and get the 3 points is massive for me. Like that's what it's all about. We're getting the 3 points, kept the clean sheet. Happy days.
Dino?
Not much to really add to that, really. The first half.
We'll move on then.
No. I'd say first half was a very forgettable first half. I thought them were very physical. I thought they were bringing down our players very smartly. There was a lot of fouls. I thought there should have been a couple of yellow cards in the first couple of minutes, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a good first half when Chris Maguire had a shot within about 6 minutes and just went over the bar. I thought, sign of things to come. But nothing really materialised, really. We didn't really... Obviously, Ozturk had the sit at the back post, but he's a defender. He's not there. He doesn't really score goals, so, First half was really dead. We seemed second to every ball. It wasn't... I don't think it was tight. I just think MK Dons passed the ball really well. I thought they kept the ball very well on the floor. They were doing it from goal kicks. And then, obviously, went in half-time, 0-0. It was a bit flat. Hopefully Parkinson riled them up because we looked better the second half. The pressing game came in the second half. We pressed them a lot better. MK Dons were making silly mistakes. Like you say, we had 2 shots clear off the line. And a 1-0, we didn't play the greatest, but you've got to win scrappy games. And like Sean says, MK Dons have turned over the likes of, was it Pompey, Peterborough, Ipswich,
Bristol Rovers, Oxford.
So they can beat teams. I think they... position in the league flatters them a little bit. I don't think they should be where they are.
That's us.
I mean, it was a great day down there. The stadium was amazing. What a stadium they've got.
Lovely.
Our fans, 5,000 I think we took down great. Overall, I think Gucci's goal just shows the quality showed in the end. Yeah. One bit of quality.
Well, obviously you two went down, so you witnessed it all live. Me personally, I don't think it was that bad in the first half. I don't think it was as bad as what people are making out.
I agree.
Again, I watched it on the telly, so we came out. We weren't as good as what we have been, but I just thought that in previous games we were closing people down, wasn't giving them any time on the ball, and it was great. Whereas we came out and we didn't seem to be doing that, and this is where I think maybe it was a little bit lethargic, or I don't know what it was, but we just didn't look as sharp, as quick, and as we have in previous games. But I didn't think we were that bad. MK Dons passed it about better than us, but didn't necessarily pose any threats to us. I wasn't that worried, and I thought, yes, we needed to up our game second half. Ozturk missed a sitter in the first half. Really should have put it in, and I'd said to our lass, I said, I hope that's not going to cost us, because but we came out second half and we were better. I still don't think we played as well as we have done over the last few games. But we were better second half. In fact, I thought it was just all us second half, and we were pretty good and well deserved the win. So, and a win's a win, and it's all about keeping the momentum going. You're not going to play brilliant every time. So, but what was important, we got that 1-0 win. So, so what we got then. With Phil Parkinson, which we haven't seemed to have with Jack Ross, is we seem to have a settled lineup now. He seems to be picking the same team and that. So the lineup we've got now, which looks like to be a winning formula, we're now in January with the transfer window. Are we happy with what we've got, or if we was to bring other people in now, do we need anybody coming in? Or if we bring people in, will it upset the system we got? You're chomping at the bit to go on.
I personally think we've got a good starting 11 at the minute, but on the bench we haven't got any strength and depth. I think if we get a couple of injuries or a couple of suspensions, then that's when we'll fail it. I think we've got to it's good this run we're on at the minute, but we've got to improve on it. We need to bring some players in still. We've got to bring players in. I mean, we're being linked with Doherty from Rangers. There's a Bailey from Bristol City. I think that's happening tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll stop you there because we're going to come on to that in a bit anyway. So, you you still think, obviously, people need to come in because we need strength and depth. But if we was to bring people in, would there not be then pressure on the manager to stick them in the team? We bought you, or we got you, so we're going to put you in the team. So let's say we get 3 or 4 new signings in. Would it then be wise to stick them into a winning team what's already winning, or... You know, it's a difficult one. What do you think?
No, I mean, like, obviously, just if we get a couple of injuries to, like, Gooch is being tremendous at the minute. If he gets injured, or Maguire, or a crucial player, then obviously that's when you're going to have to need somebody to step in. Like, I always think when we're doing well at the minute, but we still need to have that strength and depth because, like you say, a couple of injuries, couple of suspensions, and then you've got your needs people to step up the mark. And I don't think we've got a good bench at the minute. I think
when you bring signings in, you don't automatically get your place. You've got to earn your place, and we've only got one left back. That's a big factor for me. If Hume gets injured, who plays there? So you need a left back. You need a right back. 09's not a right back, but he's playing well there at the minute. People don't trust McLaughlin, so do you get rid of McLaughlin and get another right back in? But who would want McLaughlin? We brought Lafferty in. I think yesterday he looked quite good when he came on, even though he only got 15 minutes. But I could see some of the qualities he showed. We do lack something in centre midfield. Centre midfield, we need someone who can create. It doesn't upset. It only upsets if you just dropping players willy nilly. But Kyle Lafferty, he'll earn his way in. He'll have to get his match fitness. He'll have to get along with the squad. And you can tell Parkinson doesn't trust his bench because he made one sub yesterday. If so, you're telling me 90 minutes of football for someone who's been run around like Gooch, you trust Gooch, who's been run around for 90 minutes, than someone like a Watmore or McNulty, who hasn't even, who's probably match fit, who's got 100% fitness in him. So do you know what I mean? So for me, that just shows he doesn't have trust in his bench.
Yeah, there was a good point you talked about in the call. I do agree with what Dean says. That, like, he hasn't been making any subs like later on in games, and I'm thinking, why is he not making subs? We must be looking at his bench and thinking, I've got players here to make an impact. Do you know what I mean, Philly? That's what I'm thinking.
But do you not think? I mean, you just said there, Dino, that when you get new players in, you've got to earn your place in the team. Do you not think that when players are signed, that the manager says, we'll get you, we're going to put you in the team as part of the, trying to get them to sign? You can't tell me that they're going to say, we're going to sign you. However, you're going to have to go on the bench because you've got to earn your way to get into the team. So he's in a position where if you sign somebody new, I think he'll be under pressure to put them in the team. And you've got to ask the question, is that wise when you've got a winning team? Sorry, go on.
No, go on. I was going to say, to counter-argue what's been said, though, would new signings not put pressure on the guys who are playing well to keep playing well?
That's another way
if you've got no strength and depth, then the performance could easily drop. Like, no one's going to take my place. So if wouldn't new signings coming in force them to continue to play well because their place is at risk?
But guess what, Philly? Money talks. You say to them, you can't really. You have to wait your way in the mate. And they're going, there's a couple of extra grand. I'll come.
Sadly, that is how
money talks.
Simple works.
As that.
I mean, I agree. I agree with you. We do need strength in depth, without a doubt, and we do need to bring players in. All I'm doing is chucking it out there that we have this winning team, which again, it's maybe that was Jack Ross's downfall in the fact that. Not knowing his best 11 and chopping and changing all the time. And so now we've got that winning formula. I
just don't think we've got a bench what's like players there going chopping at a bit to get into the team because they're thinking, well, now the starting 11 he's not going to match change anyway.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, don't forget this winning team was a losing team a couple of months ago, and we're blaming that on one player, but them same players were still playing on that pitch. Them were a losing team.
Fair point.
Now they're on a winning run. Doesn't that winning run can easily go back to a losing run?
The best way I can describe it is I think the team we've got now is round about where it is at the moment. I think it's definitely a playoff team, but I think if you want to make the step up towards the top two, which we're only 6 points off of top two and top, it's foolish not to look at it. If you're wanting to look at it that way, get those extra players. Like it's so. I think it was one of your interviews yesterday. I can't remember who it was. Said that the gap between something like 6th to about. Well, the gap between 6th to 1st is that it's quite tight in the grand scheme of things. But because of how tight it is, a couple of decent signings could go from there to there. It could make a huge difference.
But you need to get the right signings in to go from there. Because if you get the wrong signings, it can go from there to there.
That's the reason that's the only hope. That's the only hope I've got as to why it's took so long to get players in.
Mm-hmm. So, obviously, you two lads travelled down there yesterday. Good stadium.
Absolutely lovely stadium.
Beautiful.
When I first pulled up, the one thing I will say, though, I don't know if Dane was going to mention this, the parking around the stadium wasn't very good, was it? We pulled up to the stewards, and they were saying, like, oh, you can't park in here, it was direct to go back out to the...
They said, go to the satellites, there's no satellites. There was no satellites.
So, like, basically, it was like 2 retail parks fully around the stadium and the cinemas and stuff, so basically we just parked in where the retail was. I asked this woman as well, she was from the area, she went, this is the only free parking.
Oh, well done. Well done, you've just told them they're going to put that in car park area now, aren't they?
Sure.
No, because that's a retail, so they've got it for the shopping's Primarks, all your shops, they can't just use that as a...
We went in and bought something, then we went like, you know what I mean?
No, but like to say, the stadium, honestly, Philly, was absolutely a lovely stadium. Facilities is great. The only disappointing thing for me was obviously the queues for the food and the drinks before the game and half times. That was the only disappointing. But the ground was lovely. You were set out and everything.
So what about the fans? How were the Sunderland fans?
So I thought you were going to say MK Dons fans. I was going to laugh there. Sunderland fans, great as normal, singing the hearts out, getting behind the team. We had the odd frustration during the game, and there was arguments in the crowd, which I hate to see.
And exactly.
Dino was ranting about it before we came on.
Supposed to be supporting our team, and you've got like people arguing and like nearly fisticuffs. I'm thinking, just turn around and watch the game.
It's 0-0. There was loads of people saying, just turn around and watch the game, and I didn't know if they've had too much to drink, and they were just arguing for no reason. There was no reason to argue, and there was people getting involved, and everyone's putting off the game and watching them.
And there was making a few people nervous. If there was any kids close, I would have said something, but there wasn't any kids where we were. But if there was, I would have told them.
I mean, just watch the game. Why are you arguing for? It's 0-0.
That's why you've gone down there, to watch the game.
Exactly.
So why do people feel the need to do that?
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I hated about yesterday.
The ground. What are you saying about the ground?
The MK Dons, right? Obviously, they've only been in existence since 2004, something like that. They've got a lovely stadium for League One, amazing stadium. But the fans, where's all the fans? There was 13,000 there, and 5,000 were us.
Very quiet, like.
They didn't sing. There was no atmosphere.
I never heard a song like Philly in the full from their end. I never heard one single song. I've never done that. And whenever you got the away games this season, I always hear the away team sing a song. Yeah. I didn't hear one song.
I know. It was. We could have had more allocation. Easy.
No.
Then could have had more. We could have had more allocation.
Yeah. Right, the fans yesterday, the Sunderland fans, I did notice on the TV that they seemed to split them. There was in the corner, and then there was some at the other side, towards the other corner, and then obviously the people at the top. Do you know why that was?
I haven't got a clue, mate. I mean, I was baffled by that. Like when I'm watching the game, like some of the highlights back, and where I was situated was really strange, wasn't it? I was thinking you're supposed to keep the fans together. But
we were like 3 different bits. We were on the corner, up the top, and then over there.
Over there was a massive gap. But I don't know if that was because I don't know what our total allocation was. But at first we were struggling to sell the allocation, and then at the last minute there was a surge, wasn't there?
Well, what they should have done was, instead of filling the top, they should have filled the bottom first. Fill the bottom and then fill the top.
Well, how I believe that happened was because when I first saw it, I thought it didn't make any sense because surely that was harder to police. When they're segregated like that. But apparently, I think I read on Facebook or somewhere that MK Dons have this thing where they believe that if you have the away fans behind that goal, right, it gives you a better chance of scoring. It's just obviously something that they believe, whether they've done scientific tests on it or whatever, that having the away fans behind the goal gives the opposition an advantage to, or whether it's you can put the goalie off or whatever. So that's what I heard. So what they tend to do is they tend to keep that clear behind their goals, so the away fans are not there.
Look like Dino doesn't believe that.
No, it's not that. So do you reckon they do that? Do you reckon they do that for their fans, where they put like 400 there and 400 there and 400 there, and then keep them all together? Gives them an advantage all over the pitch.
No, what they're trying to say is that if your fans are behind the goal, can just. I don't know. I mean, it might be a load of bollocks.
That's a load of bollocks. Gotta be.
It could be that. You know, it's like they have these where they have sports scientists for different things now and what have you. You know, maybe they've done a test on it, and I don't know. Who knows? But that's what someone said. I mean, like I say, it could be a load of bollocks, but but I don't see any other reason for not. Like you say, why didn't they fill it up on the bottom tier first, and then do the upper tier?
Just quickly, I mean, like our away fans at the same night, they got moved from behind the goal to up the top. Do you know why that could happen?
You said safety reasons or something?
No, it was Martin O'Neill. We played a semi-final, quarter-final game against Everton, and they were behind the goal. The Everton fans, he says, that they made that much noise, it made them feel
spurred them on.
Spurred them on. It was Martin O'Neill's choice to move the fans up to the top.
So you punish the supporters for getting behind the team by sticking them up somewhere where you can't make an atmosphere.
But if it is a thing, if that is a genuine thing, where having your supporters behind the goal, you're attacking and stuff like that, gives your team an advantage, then you know, why mock MK Dons for then saying, I mean, if Martin O'Neill was right about when we played Everton, and that's the reason they got moved, then if there is something in it, then you can't mock MK Dons for putting that into place.
But isn't the whole thing about football matches, you want to create an atmosphere? You can't create an atmosphere if you're sticking away fans up the top. There's no banter, there's no camaraderie, there's none of that. It's football's changed throughout the years, and I think it's wrong to stick fans up the heights and that.
Okay then, the same scenario, I don't know if you're aware of, I don't know if they're still the same, but when the Stadium of Light was built, the two dressing rooms, the home dressing room and the away dressing room, were done out in different colours, right? Yeah. And it was, again, it was a scientific experiment sort of thing, and what it was these particular colours were cold colours or whatever, and you went in, and it was to give the away team that, you know, the away dressing room apparently is not as big as the home dressing room, and
I've seen that,
and it's this, and it's all psychological. And there are all these things. If you think you can get some sort of advantage from it, then why not? Yeah. You know, it's all right saying, well, it's not fair. But
haven't you got a big advantage of the home away rule anyway? Because everyone reckons the home and away is a big advantage. For me, it's still 2 goals and a pitch. It shouldn't make a difference.
But if they've done these scientific experiments where they find that it gives you, all right, might not be a massive advantage, but it gives you some advantage, then why not utilise that?
I mean, it hasn't worked in the last 15 games.
I mean, it hasn't. It feels like it hasn't worked the last 20 years, to be honest. To be fair, I can see both sides of the argument. I think that to counter-argue the whole fans move up into the gods or in the gods, like, you look, Chelsea, just at the top of my head, Chelsea have fans in the corner, Newcastle have fans in the gods, Liverpool have fans in the corner, Man United have fans in the corner, away fans, I mean. So, while I'm not, but I mean, I do to an extent agree with Dino that I think that sometimes we've sometimes been criticised saying, oh, the atmosphere among the home crowd isn't as great because the away fans aren't there to sort of.
That's what makes the atmosphere on it.
But I can also understand that any club's going to try anything to give themselves a more of an advantage, really. Like look at Man City. Here's an example. Man City have in the ground. There's a section where it's basically looks like a tight, narrow strip of away fans, but it doesn't take up that much space, like horizontally within the ground. And again, you look at Newcastle yesterday. Look at the Chelsea fans; they'd have been right up in the gods. Why do you think that is? It's the same reason that people would argue why we've moved fans to the away gods. Yeah. Whether it should give you an advantage or not, you know, the home and away thing should be there anyway. But it's I
think there was also when we moved the away fans up to the top tier was we were filling the ground at the time, and then when certain teams weren't bringing their full allocation, it didn't look good on TV. So when it was on TV, you had this big empty section, and it looked like, you know, you wasn't filling your ground, and I think that had something to do with it as well. I mean, obviously when they sold out their allocation, then it looked great. You know, the full bottom bowl at least was full, which is what you see on the TV. But anyway, so our fans spot on yesterday as usual, yes?
Yep.
Good. Right. 2 sitters missed by Ozturk yesterday in the game. Yous were there, so didn't necessarily see it the way...
I missed them both. Well, no, I seen one of them.
The first one, it just looked like it was, I don't know if it was a corner free kick. It went to the back post, it got knocked back across, and I couldn't tell who it was at first, but I seen him slide in and he missed, and someone says it was an absolute sitter, but I wasn't sure from where I was sitting. And then the second one, how the hell
that was horrendous.
How he missed that? We're 1-0 up, fair enough, but Kyle Lafferty's headed back across goal. It's bounced right in front of him. He doesn't even have to dive and head it. Didn't have to dive and head it.
I mean, if you look at it, if we'd have conceded and we got a 1-1 draw, we'd have been looking at that miss, wouldn't we? So, you know,
I mean,
thankfully,
don't get us wrong, Ozturk's job is to head the ball over the bar.
The other end.
So he's done his job really, but when he's headed it, he's looked at it. And when he's went to head it, he's looked down and it's hit the top of his head, and it's just
like goes right over.
And
like I said, I said many times, if you keep that header on target, as simple as it sounds and obvious as it sounds, if you keep it on target, it's 2-0, and the game's pretty much done at that point.
I mean, as we say, I watched it at home, so and they are glaring misses. They really are, and the thing is, you know, you can say, oh, he's a defender and what have you, but we're fortunate that they didn't cost us yesterday, because, I mean, right at the very end, they were pushing for an equaliser, and if they'd, it would have been gut-wrenching if they'd have got an equaliser, because they didn't deserve it. But those 2 sitters, in other games, you know, you might be, you know, there might be the 2 chances you get all game, and they have to be put away, whether you're a defender or you're not a defender.
Well, look at it this way, right? He's missed it from there, but look at the times where we should have scored a penalty and someone like McGeady's missed, keeper saved it. You take it how it comes. Do you know what I mean?
It's not just.
Look at the games we could have won, and we haven't, because we've hit the post, or like Chris Maguire when he should have scored the 1-on-1 and the keeper saved it. It's by the by. It happens.
To be fair, Ozturk had a good. I thought Ozturk had a good game yesterday. You know, it's you know, I'm not. Well, I am criticising him for missing, but it's just these things could be the difference between us going up and not going up in future. And how many times, whether you're whatever position you play on the pitch, if you're having a shot at goal or going for goal, especially with a header, you are told you head the ball down. That's you know, that's what you do. You head the ball down, and you know, the second one as well was just.
It was an open goal,
it was glaring. The goal was gaping for him to just head it in. Look, don't get me wrong, I think in general, since Ozturk's come in, he's been very good for Sunderland.
He was great yesterday. I thought he had a very good game yesterday.
I get the point you're making, that if we're creating these chances, whichever's in, you've got to put them away. Especially if they're an empty net, you can't miss it.
We had the discussion on the way home, and I think I was asking about the man of the match, and I said straight away Ozturk for me.
I said Willis or Ozturk.
There you go.
The defence.
I'll cross that one off. Then we don't have to ask that now, do we?
Well, that's it. See? But I think
you might as well just take it.
I think Ozturk had a hard start when he first came in, but now he's starting to look. He's looking settled. He looks physically stronger. He looks like he just looks like the main guy at the back now. And having Lynch and Willis, you've got a bit of pace around you, and you've got a bit of strength around you, and that's what we're lacking last season. Because you had Baldwin and Flanagan, who are skinny League One players, good on the day, bad on the day, but now you've got physical shithouses at the back now.
Quick defenders as well.
Quick.
Yeah. You've got physicality, you've got pace. That's the position on the pitch where you need. I mean, you need communication and understanding more than any other position on the field. It's good to see we've got it.
I'll give you all copies next time.
As well.
Right, so Kyle Lafferty came on for, I think, the last 15 minutes it was. Michael? You didn't see the game.
I didn't really see. I only really saw. I think the only bit I saw was him walking towards the fans after the game. That's it. I didn't think you would be better than me to comment.
Dino?
I seen 2 things as soon as he came on. He's taller than Wyke.
It's a big lump, like.
He did
taller than Wyke, and I could see the confidence straight away, because as soon as he got on the pitch,
that's his womanising.
He won his first battle,
allegedly.
And then we got a free kick. And he pointed to both the wingers, Gucci and Maguire, and said, "Get there." to me that shows confidence. I'm going to win this header and flick it on, so get there.
So
I've never seen White say come here. Straight away Kyle actually put it to them two and told him where to go to win the header. So for me it shows that he's obviously got more experience than White, and he's confident he's going to win the header. Like when White's playing, you don't feel confident that he's always going to win the battle. I think with Lafferty, he'll be like, I'm going to win every single header.
Amongst it when he's got that presence. He's got that presence. Lafferty. I mean, when he first come on, I think it was a couple minutes in, when he first come on, he had a chance to the left foot, didn't he?
I think
he hit the left foot, and I'm thinking,
well, it was his first touch on the ball, and he could have scored like.
Scored there, like would have been.
But I think he could be a good asset. I really do. I think
get him fit.
You get him fit. I think he will end up pushing White out the picture if he gets a goal or two, and he looks like he's linking the play up better. I think he will get in. Just keeping him fit and hoping that his mind doesn't go elsewhere to like Milan to womanise people. Do you know what I mean? I hope. This is just what I hear. But positive signs. I'm glad he got a great reception when he came on, which I like to see.
He did. He got a great reception when he come on. Like to see, he had that chance when he first come on. I was thinking if he put that away,
he'd have been a god.
I think the stadium would just erupted like it did when Gooch got. But the thing I liked about him as well, he was like Dane's touching on that. He was pointing where he wanted the ball, and he's got this presence about him. I think if we can get him fit and get the best out of him, he could be massive in the running. Like he could be huge for us.
I mean, when he came on and I saw him, and you're right, the first thing I noticed was the size of him. Right. I mean, he's a big lad, and so the women say, allegedly. No, he's a tall lad, and I thought he looked strong, and I thought, yeah, I was quite impressed with the little I saw of him. And I don't know a lot about him, really, if I'm being honest. But he came on and he just seemed to give us confidence. I would be quite happy with him up there. I mean, White's done a great job, but as we know, with Charlie White, he's blown hot and cold. You know, he'll have a few good games, and then he'll be atrocious, and it just seems like an ideal replacement for if White's not playing. So, you know, that's a positive for me with Carl Lafferty. Man of the match, then, Michael.
This panel show. There you go. I can't comment very much, so I'm just gonna sit on the fence and just say Gooch for the goal. That's it.
Why did you even turn up today?
I really don't know. Had nothing better to do on a Sunday.
God, lad. Sean?
Ozturk for me, I thought it was just Mr. Reliable. Even when them cleared the balls over the top.
Apart from in front of goal.
I thought at the bottom end, he was cleaning things up, and he looked so cool and so composed. He looked brilliant. Like he was class.
Dino?
It would be out of Ozturk and Willis for me. I thought I'm going to give it to Willis because Willis was just doing what he does best. He was winning battles in the air. He was getting forward again. He actually went in about good cross. He just seems to be everywhere. Like when someone gets him behind, you don't worry because you feel like Willis will catch him. Willis will catch him. Yep. So I'm going to give it to Willis.
Right. For me, watching from home, and I mentioned to Michael in the car on the way over. Initially, when I was watching it, I thought Luke O'Nien was putting himself about, and I thought, because constantly I'm watching the game, and I'm thinking, who could be man of the match here. And I thought he was doing all right, and then of course Willis was having a great game. I thought Dobson had a decent game as well, but then coming into it, Gooch again I thought was great, and Hume was superb, and I thought, yeah, Hume could have this. But then when Gooch got his goal, that just sealed it really. Superb goal. He had a great game, and for me, definitely Lyndon Gooch can have man of the match. Lyndon Gooch, come and collect your award next week.
Well, on the California Messi, that's what somebody calling you.
On Luke O'Nien, we tried to get him on yesterday. The lads were saying, try and get him on, try and get him on. So we went over and asked him. Nice enough lad. You can tell he's an absolute gentleman. And he was saying, "Am I allowed?" And
where's he from?
Wickham, I think, isn't he? I don't know. He's from London area.
Half an hour from where Milton Keynes.
You've been sarcastic, I know, you bastard. Sarcastic. And he looked game for it, but he did promise that when we get promoted, he didn't say if, he said when we get promoted, I'll come on, and I don't care what anyone says, I'll definitely come on. So look, I'm going to hold you to that mind.
You better be right. You better be right.
This is your number one fan on the right here.
Oh, he said, look.
He's got posters of you on his bedroom wall.
I'm not that. I don't have posters.
Oh God!
But honestly, what a nice bloke.
Yeah,
all I can say is what a nice bloke.
Well, he just seems to be the ideal sort of footballer. You've seen him. There's been videos on social media put out of him many times where after the game he's had a kickabout with. He's got young kids on the pitch and had a bit kickabout with them, and just in the day of these footballers womanising and and you know, being arseholes, it's refreshing to see somebody like Luke O'Neill. Absolutely.
He's a role model, Luke O'Neill.
It's especially in a world where footballers feel like they're in their own bubble and they don't connect with the outside world whatsoever. So how can you not like Luke O'Neill?
I mean, he could have easily just went and walked away, but he had a conversation.
I shook
his hand. I says, I'll be holding it to that mind. And he said, he asked, I held his hand. I haven't watched it yet. I did. When I said he went, what's this like? What do you do? And I says, I'll interview fans after the game. It'd be good if we could get you on. And I think he will, mate. I think at the end of the season, I will. I'll go and remind him.
I know you will.
I know where he lives now.
He's going down at the end of the game.
Luke O'Neill strikes me as the type of person who'd be more than willing to come on.
Yeah.
Luke, if you're watching this, do you fancy coming on the panel in the summer when the season's over?
I'm just glad he's getting his game now, even though I'd rather see him in the centre, but he's doing a cracking job at right back.
There's no way he can't be in the team at the minute.
Either way. He's just full of energy, full of life, and he's actually got a little bit good passing quality. It's just a Luke O'Neill show now, isn't it?
Right then, so moving on to transfers. Of course, we're in the January transfer window, so I'm going to put it to all of you. Any rumours that you've heard of people coming in, and who do you think will be good, bad, whatever? Michael?
Messi and Ronaldo? I've heard rumours that they'll be coming in on a short-term loan deal.
What a knob.
Yeah, I cannot. Right,
He can't be serious for 2 seconds, can he?
No, of course not. Of course, I've got to have a dig now and again. Bailey Wright, the centre-back from... Is it Bristol City?
Bristol City.
Apparently he's allegedly...
Monday.
Well, supposedly coming in on a permanent deal. I think it's going to be completed in the next couple of days. We've been linked with...
Well, hang on. Do you know anything about this this Bailey White or whatever? He was captain. He's captain.
Club captain of Bristol. He's a centre half. I think he must be a tall guy. He's got to be. That must be one of the big reasons we're going for him. But if we're going after someone else's club captain in the Championship,
he's a centre half.
Yeah, he's a centre half. Yeah,
it's a good sign.
Don't forget though, club. Just because he's captain of their club, he's a good captain. So, because we had Dobson, we had this discussion about Dobson, power and all.
I was more making the point in terms of the character that he would be.
Yeah, calm down, man.
No, I'm just saying. Just saying.
We've had the lead. Is it the lead bit of problem fresh in our heads? Yeah, fair enough. He'd be because I think if we're playing 3 at the back or 5, whatever it is, if we're playing 3 centre halves constantly, if we get an injury, I mean, we've got Flanagan also to come in, but we could do with another centre half then if you're using 3 a game.
Agreed.
Greg Docherty and Jamie Murphy, both from Rangers. Well, certainly Greg Docherty anyway. Looks like we could be getting him. Greg Docherty.
Do we know anything about him?
Well, Sean, didn't you say in Pete's interview?
Pete was saying that he's
an attacking midfielder.
He said he's like Dobson off the ball. He'll graft his arse off, and when he's on the ball, he's got some creativity about him. That's what he said.
Yeah. If that's true, that's what we do need. Some of that, I think. We still need a bit. We still need that. We still need a bit more of a classy edge to link between midfield and attack, and if Docherty can provide that, then all the same.
Well, let's ask you a question. Who do you drop, Mr. Max Power or George Dobson, if you want him in? Because you love power.
Yeah, I'm amazed you two don't rate him, to be honest. Out of the two of them, probably Dobson.
Really?
If I had to pick out the two of them,
Okay.
yeah. I think Power's integral to the centre of midfield, personally.
It's all about opinions.
Yeah.
Well, I would drop Power.
Well, now you what you would do.
Sean, transfers, have you heard anything?
Just the Murphy, Doherty, there was the other one.
Liam
Bailey. Who was that midfielder? From Burton, was it Burton? We'll talk about
Liam Boyce.
Liam Boyce.
Liam Boyce, that too.
Is that any truth in that? I mean,
Well, they reckon his contract's out in 6 months, and Corny Burton's manager has actually already stated that he won't be playing for the club again. He won't be playing for the club again. He said that was his last game for the club when he scored a goal.
solid rumours.
Apparently the fee's 250k, and if it's at that, go for him.
True.
Go for him.
What you covered, not really. I heard Lewis Morgan left Celtic for 200k. Why did we not go for him? We know what he's like. We know he's about his hard work. He's a bit like Gooch, but on the other side. And we need a winger. And if we don't get this Murphy guy from Rangers, I don't think we'll get another winger. But I rate we need a left back. If Hume goes, we are screwed big time. Because you can't play Conor McLaughlin there. Because he's not a left back.
Flanagan can play left back, like, and so and
he's.
But
the way we're playing at the minute, you need fast. Someone who's going to run out of defender. And Flanagan's not that bloke, and neither has Conor McLaughlin.
Exactly. You need energy on either side, and Conor McLaughlin nor Tom Flanagan wouldn't provide that for a whole game. They couldn't.
But these people we've been linked with, I mean, I'll be honest, they're all foreign to me. Not foreign, but.
Scotland.
Do we know what positions they play? I mean, you said the Bristol City guys
centre half. Doherty's centre midfielder, box-to-box midfielder, and that was Burton. What's he called?
Liam Boyce.
He's a striker.
He scored 14 goals this season. So if we could get him, I forgot to mention we're after a striker from Bristol City as well.
Semenyo.
I don't know his name.
I think it's Antoine Semenyo, but I've probably got that name wrong. So correct me.
We're currently after him if we get him. I'm not sure. I'd like to see Graham Dockley come in. I still feel like we need something in the centre. I still feel like we need another striker. So if a Liam Boyce came in, I wouldn't be.
We need someone who's going to score.
I'd be very pleased with that because if he scored 14 goals for Burton, and Burton are like mid-table kind of, what could he do for us?
Get more chances in our team.
I don't know because he's not a white or because we play with big strikers. So he's obviously an option to come off the bench. I'm guessing. I think he would come to us because obviously compared to Burton and Sunderland there's a big difference in stadium facilities and all that stuff, and probably money will play a part.
I mean, Burton are near the playoffs as well, man. I think they're not that far off it, but I know what you mean. Like if they've accepted that they're going to sell him, and he's got 14 goals for them this season,
I think Burton will
which is already more than probably all of our strikers put together.
If you're going for playoffs and you sell your striker who scored 14 goals, I don't even think you'll make the playoff anymore because you're selling the striker who's scoring goals.
Well, exactly. It'd be foolish not to get him.
I don't know what it's about because I didn't have time to click on it and see, but I was on social media last night when I should have been working. And the Sunderland Echo have got something about our friend Marcus Maddison about
what, he's going to the Championship?
No, I don't know about there was indicating or implying, if you like, in the little headline they had that there was a chance that he could be on his way to Sunderland. Anybody heard that?
No. That's just all shit.
Too many if we agree with Peterborough and Charlton, there's no way we're going to pay 2 million for a player. No way at all.
And why would you turn down Charlton to stay in League One and not guarantee Championship? For me, if Madsen wants to kick on his career, he's got to go to the next level, which is the Championship.
But then he's got the other side of the fence, and you've got like he could be playing for his boyhood team. Do you know what I mean? I mean that could.
It depends where he's like. Depends where he's like.
I just can't see it.
I mean, it's I should have clicked on it really, but when you're grafting like I do, because I'm a grafter.
Would you like me to look now for you?
I just didn't know if anybody had heard anything. I
think I seen it as well.
I saw it and I didn't. Well, you wasn't at work, so you should have clicked on it. And then
I don't click on what I just think's utter bullshit. So
I'll tell you what, bear with me, everybody. I'll have a look.
How many times have we been linked with Maddison and it just doesn't happen?
It'd be great if it happened.
It'd be great, but I don't think we'd fork the money out for him. And I just think if a Championship club came in for him, I think Maddison would go to a Championship club instead of a League One club, but not guaranteed to get
maybe they could offer better wages as well.
Exactly. So for me,
but if that came about, I'm sure we'd all agree that would be
that'd be cracking sign.
Tell you what, Silly, that would be the missing piece in the jigsaw for me. I mean,
could be.
Imagine him in that front three. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Right. Well, as per usual with football fans, fickle fans, as we all are, I'm sure, everybody will admit.
Yeah.
So just 6 weeks ago, maybe, where everybody's unhappy with Phil Parkinson and wanting him out, and, I'm the most positive thinking football fan ever. Even I was having doubts about it. So, knowing what we know now, and how wrong actually were we, if those rumours are true then, on what he had to deal with when he came in, with the disruption in the dressing room, the unfit players and things like that. Do we feel a bit silly now having a call for his head? And how do you now feel about him? Is he, bearing in mind what he's had to sort out, do you think he's had a bit of a raw deal?
I still stand by what I said. Great, he's shown some man management skills. It took some balls to do what he done with McGeady. But the start he had, it was warranted the criticism he was getting, because Wogan likes gelling him in other places for a draw. Maybe the players have finally just picked up what he wants to do, so the players have started turning up now. But for me, I'm going to stand by what I said. I still feel like we're just going on a good run at the minute. I still feel like there's going to be another dip.
You're allowed to change your mind. I
said last week. I said last week I'm going to give him these next 3 games. I says I want a minimum of 9 points. Bearing in mind, Mad Mistake says we might get beat off MK. He said 7. So if we got a draw yesterday, it wouldn't have been. I say it would still be a bad result, because I still feel like we should be beating a team like MK who's down near the relegation zone. And if you want to get promoted, you got to beat teams like MK. So I don't feel silly for wanting him out. I still don't believe he's the right man for the job.
In this division, or
just full stop. But I will have to eat humble pie if he gets into the playoffs or automatic, because let's be real here. There's only like 3 points separating you from 17th and 6th.
Yeah.
It only takes other teams to start winning and us to start picking up a couple of draws and a couple of losses here and there. Do you know what I mean? So, for me, he's only had one big test, and that was Wickham, really, lately, hasn't it? Everything else has been really debatable.
I just think when he first come, I think he had a lot to deal with, and I think.
So if that's the case, did Ross not have a lot to deal with then? If that's the case, if you want to put the show on the other foot here.
You know, when he first come in,
this season, because obviously McGeady would have been the problem still, wouldn't he?
Well, no, because McGeady was playing for Jack Ross. He was happy with him.
But there must have been still a click there, though, was there?
Well, no, but as I'm saying, it was when Jack Ross went. That's when McGeady must have been, acting himself, if you could put it.
What Phil Parkinson actually did in weeding out McGeady is a mass. I mean, McGeady was the biggest name, best player. Last season certainly. Our star player. So for him to turn around and absolutely just bladder him, completely.
Massive decision.
It takes some balls to do that.
I'll give him credit for that, because, like you say, I just said it takes balls to kick your biggest earner, your most high-profile player out the squad altogether and say you're gone. It takes a lot of balls to do that, but don't forget that could have easily backfired. Don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, people were singing the McGeady song, even though fans were still against him for that decision, because people were still saying McGeady run down the run for me.
You sing the McGeady song because it was a good song. Our lass loves it.
I still feel he's still got a lot to prove. The substitution thing winds me up. How he doesn't make a substitution when there's lads knackered on the pitch who have been running around for 80 to 70 minutes, and he doesn't trust any lads on his bench to come on and do a job. That really frustrates me.
But do you not think then, knowing what we know and what he's had to deal with now, let's say he's had a good little run now, let's say that drops off and we don't get promoted, does he not now, has he not earned himself the right to then have a crack at it on a full season next season because of because of all what he's had to deal with, which we didn't know. I mean, you know, he's at least he's addressed that, turned it around, and seems to now, you know, he's sort of starting from now, really, because he's had to put all that right.
But do you make the mistake what you done with Ross, keep him for next season, and it's not going well, then sack him? Do you do that again?
So
it's ifs and buts and maybes. We gave Ross the second season, and look how that turned out.
We basically gave him too long.
Yeah.
So, well, Michael, what do you think?
Just very quickly, the Marcus Maddison thing you pointed out with was from the Northern Echo, which was a week ago. It was basically Sunderland must move quickly to land Marcus Maddison. So basically, no chance of happening, dead in the water. Anyway, as for Phil Parkinson, I don't think the fans a couple months ago were fickle for wanting him out, because it was 2 wins in 14 games. For a team that wants to get promoted, that isn't good enough. And I'd like to think everybody should know that wasn't good enough. And like Dino said, and I think I had rants about it before, we played at home to Burton, essentially played Burton at home for a draw. We went to Gillingham playing for a draw. Again, if you want to get promoted, you shouldn't be going to those to get settling for a point against anyone, really, but especially teams like that. You should be looking to beat both of them. To an extent, yeah. If Phil Parkinson, well, remember what we said last week. Apparently, Phil Parkinson didn't realise how unfit the squad was when he came in. So that's one thing he has had to deal with, to be fair to him. But I still think there could have been a better way he could have got results in the meantime before things have started to turn around. So I think, I like I said, the only way that for me Phil Parkinson has turned. The only way I will say Phil Parkinson has turned it around is if Sunderland win promotion back to the Championship. That's it. Any less is a failure.
These 7 games don't cloud over what happened 2 months ago. Fine, he's had a lot to deal with, but managers have loads to deal with in other teams.
Exactly.
I don't think it's fair, though. I don't think you're giving him this. No, you're saying it doesn't you know, cloud or gloss over, if you like, what, you know, this bad start he had. But I think you're not taking into consideration, you know, all what was going on, which we weren't aware of at the time. Yeah. So, for me, all what went on before should just be forgotten about, and we should be judged on how he's doing now.
It's hard to forget them 2 months.
It'll be forgotten about if we get promoted. Yeah. If we don't know
that's a good point.
If we don't get promoted, we've essentially wasted 2 months of the season.
Do you think, looking back at it though, I mean, Parkinson, when he was really under pressure, he was playing
rightly so, by the way.
He's playing the 3 at the back. Obviously, he's playing the 3-4-3. He's stuck by that system, right? Even when the pressure was on, he hasn't buckled like Jack Ross started at the start of the season. He started with a 3 at the back, 3-5-2, and then obviously the fans started to get restless, and he changed the formation. Philip Parkinson, you've got to have respect him. As Philly said earlier on, he sorted the Ian McGinney issue, and he's the best. He was our best player last season by a mile. And he's stuck with his system as well. Maybe and the fitness levels, he's sorted that out. Maybe everything's just starting to come good now. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully that's what it is.
Like you say, hopefully, but time will tell.
Right, like I said, he's starting to turn it round, but he hasn't done it for me yet.
Okay then. What I want to do is I'd like a prediction from each of you. On who you think at the end of the season will be champions, runners-up, and who will be promoted through the playoffs. Sean?
Champions, Rotherham, Sunderland second, and Ipswich for the playoffs.
Dino?
Oh, God. I've got to eat a lot of humble pie here because I see Rotherham won't be up there. But I think Rotherham will be there now.
It looks like you say that through clenched teeth.
And I see they won't even be up there, and somehow they've just done that. I think.
Looks like we were correct.
So Rotherham, runners up, Ipswich, playoffs. Who's in the playoffs at the minute?
There's Oxford, Coventry, Wickham are currently second, and there's us. There's
Portsmouth are just outside.
Seventh. Portsmouth 7th.
I hate to say this.
Coventry.
Oh God! Imagine that, us and Coventry in the playoffs. Oh.
Michael.
I'm with Dino. I hate being asked this question. Okay, Rotherham to win the league.
Oh, hey,
I agree with Dino. I think Ipswich will finish second. Oh God. At the moment, if we continue this run, I think
you always just listen to ifs and buts. If we go on this,
but that's what it is. But it is ifs and buts. That's what it is, isn't it?
Because
that's exactly
at the end of the day,
on the fence.
And if you, but
he's not Mystic Michael, is he? You know what I mean?
The thing is, though, because we keep getting asked this question every week, it's like, well, form could easily tail off and drop off, so it's hard to really define. Okay. I'm gonna, on the assumption that we have a great second half of the season, I'll say Sunderland win the playoffs. There you go.
Hey.
I'm just going to say that.
Eventually.
Up by Easter.
Oh, hopes. Just go up.
Unfortunately, I don't think we will be up by Easter. However, I do think 100% that Sunderland will win the league. Right, we'll go up as champions. I think second place will be Ipswich, and I think Rotherham will go up via the playoffs.
So it's up by Easter gone now. Is that done?
So Mr. Up by Easter does not say we'll be up by Easter.
However, when I say I will not be up by Easter, I'm not totally ruling that out. Right? If I do believe that we won't lose another game. Until the end of the season.
I said that last
time.
I don't. And I think the biggest game out of all of them, really, even though we've got Oxford coming up, we've got Coventry away coming up, I think Portsmouth away, which is on the 1st of February, I think will be the toughest of all those. And but I'm confident that now the way we're playing, I can't see us, even if, like yesterday, we didn't play to our best, but we still got the 3 points. I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll grind out results, and I'm very confident that we'll go up as champions. Champions!
Exactly. I hope so. I'd love that to happen, but in my mind, that won't happen. In my mind, that won't happen.
It's not happening on his watch.
Doominator Dino. I need to think of alliteration for you, Sean. Mystic Michael.
No, by Easter Philly.
All right then. Just very quickly then, before we wrap this up, we would like your predictions. Now, unfortunately, next week we won't be here for an edition of the Sunday Bunch because someone is away on holiday and. Sorry. I need a break working with these. Right, so what I want your predictions for. We've got Doncaster coming up on Friday. Sean thinks we're playing Tranmere.
You did this when we played Gillingham in the league. I remember you saying, "Oh, it was next weekend."
His brain's mashed. He spends £200 on hats and things like that. So we want Doncaster Rovers. Then we've got Tranmere Rovers on the Tuesday, and then the following Saturday we've got Portsmouth away. So I think we'll start with you, Michael. Predictions for Doncaster. Before we start, we have spoken to the Mad Mistake, who is enjoying himself in London as we speak, and we've got his predictions. His predictions are as follows. Doncaster Rovers, he says, is going to be a 2-0 win. Tranmere Rovers will be a 3-0 Sunderland win, and Portsmouth away will be a 2-1 Sunderland win. I like the way he thinks. Thank you there, the Mad Mistake. So, Michael, Doncaster Rovers.
Sunderland 2, Doncaster 1. I think it'll be a tight game, but I think we'll win it.
Tranmere Rovers.
Tranmere 1, Sunderland 3.
Right, and Portsmouth.
Portsmouth 1, Sunderland 1. I think that'll be a draw.
1-1. Sean.
Sunderland 5, Doncaster 0.
Whoa!
Are you serious?
Yep.
Seriously? You're going for 5-0?
That can scramble your mind.
Tranmere 1, Sunderland 3.
Well, he's gone for the same as me.
Right.
And Portsmouth 1, Sunderland 3.
3-1. Really? Hey, see, we're all on the up. Dino?
Go on, Dino.
3-0 Doncaster. I think we'll get another clean sheet. No, 3-0 to Sunderland.
I was going to say, no.
I think we'll keep a clean sheet there. Tranmere, I'm going to say 1-0 Sunderland, because I'm sure, did they beat?
No, they lost. They'd only just lost, but they lost.
Just lost. And then who's in Pompey, I think we'll get 1-0 win.
Go on, Dino.
So, even Dino.
Dominate, that's a fucking...
Go on, Phil.
What's that? 3 clean sheets in a row?
Yeah.
Doncaster Rovers, I'm going for a 3-1 Sunderland win. Tranmere away, I'm going for 4-0 Sunderland. Right. And Portsmouth,
The big one.
But now we're not going to get, because he says we're not going to get all season.
Well, I know, I'm not going to...
Could be dry.
I'm thinking a draw. I really am thinking a draw.
It's going to be a hard game.
I'm really hoping for a win, but I'm going to go a 1-1 draw. And I would be happy with a 1-1 draw away at Portsmouth.
I'll take a point against Pompey.
Just because this is the final, it's the final Sunday bunch before February, isn't it? This one, no, effectively. So I said to Phil in the car on the way here, and like Pompey, we said ourselves, Pompey's going to be a big one. I think where we are now, I think we need to look where we are at the end of next month, because I'll just quickly go through the fixtures: Pompey away, Ipswich at home, Rochdale at home, Oxford away, Bristol Rovers at home, Fleetwood at home, Coventry away. Big month. If this squad's got anything about them, then we'll see where we are and how we do next month, because that's going to be that could be a make or break. That could be a make or break our season for us.
Well, what we'll do at the end of that month, we'll get your predictions again for what you said, and I should have jotted them down, but I'll check the video and we'll make a note of them, and then we can see where they all stack up. Once again, thanks very much for tuning in to this edition of the Sunday Bunch. Don't forget, next week we won't be here, unfortunately, but we will be back on the 2nd of February, where we'll review the games that have gone on whilst we've not been here. Sean, you want to give someone a mention, I believe?
I just want to say a big shout out to Gary Allen, Pensioner's finest. Thanks, Gary. I was talking the other day on Twitter. Obviously, you made it onto the official Sunderland Twitter account. So I just want to say a massive well done to everybody associated with SAFC Fan TV. You know, all the team here. And I think we're all going to be proud of ourselves. Well done, lads.
We're all proud. Give yourselves a round of applause.
And thanks very much to everybody for watching. Without you lot, we wouldn't be able to do this.
So don't forget, please like, share and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. It's free to do so. It doesn't cost anything. So make sure you subscribe. We'll get those subscribers up. Michael's got his own individual channel as well if you want to subscribe to that. Mine, The Mad Mistake, of course, you can do that. And these lads are on Twitter and Instagram and all that. Just follow us on social media. And we'll be back on the 2nd of February for another edition of the Sunday Bunch. Thanks for watching.